My career journey, I feel like it's still going, of course. I started working as soon as I can. I was 11 years old. I was literally working, as an intern, helping sort of prepare the school for the summer and just trying to figure out how can I be productive, how can I contribute to my household. We grew up in East Harlem. My parents weren't wealthy, so at a very young age, I would realize I need to be another man in the house and contribute. So I was always willing to give back and to think about, how am I developing, as this man of the house that my dad would always refer to me as. So I first started, joining. I'm a joiner by nature. I joined the debate team in school. I was on the newspaper club. I was the editor of the school magazine. I was on the United Nations debate team. So really I think my just sort of natural aversion to growing a network, which is a part of the polling, and we'll get to that, was sort of what got me into a lot of different places. So I would say up until high school, I had done almost everything. And it was when I started working at the Harlem Children's Zone, which was a nonprofit in Harlem, the first of its kind, really taking a holistic approach to how do we service a community like Harlem. Jeffrey Canada was the CEO at the time, phenomenal track record. And it was there where I was able to get a lot of newer opportunities, connect with people who were really interested in helping me develop. They saw my natural leadership ability. And I was introduced to Coro, which is another leadership program in public affairs. And this was around the time that I graduated from college. I went to Hampton University, studied political science, had considered going to law school, but realized I wanted to work. That 11-year-old child hadn't quieted yet. Just still interested in figuring out, what can I do? How can I get involved? How can I be active? And so after college, there was Coro, and I worked on a few campaigns. I worked on the Bloomberg campaign. I worked for Bloomberg LP, and also, did some time in a PR firm, but eventually realized I wanted to work in city government. And so I started out as a program manager at NYC Service, where I was managing a portfolio of impact service initiatives. So NYC Service, I like to refer to it as like a sort of city philanthropic arm, right? We're really thinking about how do we use volunteerism and how do we use, corporate sponsors to really advance some of the city's initiatives? How do we serve communities where the needs are greatest through volunteerism and sort of corporate partnerships? So there I got a chance to work on, some really amazing initiatives, right? Being fresh out of college, I had no idea that I was going to be able to develop a community development grant where I was literally giving grants to community boards to beautify their neighborhoods, right? And so just going back, when I graduated college as a political science major, I was the chair of the community service board. I'd always thought like it would be amazing to have a job where I can get paid and do this stuff for real. So I was really blessed and lucky to have a lot of those sort of formative experience of the Harlem Children's Zone through Coro to land myself at NYC Service in the mayor's office. At NYC Service, I did that for 2 years. Had a lot of success with the Love Your Block grant. I worked on Million Trees, which is literally replanting the city's urban forest. Worked on a variety of nutrition initiatives through Shape Up NYC. So really, was able to, have some real impact at a very sort of early in my career. From there, I wanted to get a better sense of understanding how volunteerism can really help push the agenda forward, but a huge part of it is jobs, right? How do people get access to sustaining wages, to good jobs? And so that led me to the Department of Small Business Services, where I worked as a account manager and designed a program called On the Job Training, or New Skills, New Jobs, which was literally getting New Yorkers who had been out of work for 6 months or more back into the workforce, which was exciting, right? I had been in a position where I was working with programs that had a life of their own, had already existed for a while. And this was an opportunity to really sort of create a new program. And so after the first year, we had over 100 people who got back into the work, and the program still lives today. So that's something that I really am excited about. I feel good about that I was able to actually get people back into work. So that was SBS, and I moved into more policy and operations and managing performance for our Workforce One centers, did a lot of community development work, building community partnerships. One of my favorite things to do is to go out in the community and sort of meet with people that we're surveying. And so, now I'm at operations, and under this mayor, I feel very fortunate because his mission has been equity. And how do we think about equity in all of our programs? One of the first projects I got to work on was ending veteran homelessness. How do we really address a serious issue amongst the veteran community? And worked on a team to build new housing in Hollis, Queens for veterans. Over 100 veterans were able to move into supportive housing. So these are the things, when I reflect back on my career, that I've been able to have measurable, real impact. And I'm excited to do that moving forward.